Either way, let's open one up. Hold up, before you do. We have like 15 of these.
We have a lot.
Well, we have 13 of them, but and more.
Yeah.
You don't want to get to open it.
These things are pricey.
Yeah, it's like $40-something for that. It's like I think it went to 50. Like as long as we've been holding these, they went up a lot.
Yep.
Despite the fact they only have like 2 good cards.
I mean, that's most Pokemon sets. There's a lot of sets that's like, here's like the free chase cards. Everything else, you lose money. So clearly, we're gonna pull the cards that make us get money. Here's the 2 I'm opening.
But
I'm gonna open it in front of the camera.
You gonna try to open it in front of the camera?
Yeah. I don't know how to do the thing, so I'm just gonna open it like kind of sideways. Yeah. Let's open this pack.
It's I think it's 4. I think it's 4 cards.
An Ekans. A Carvana. Wow, I'm bad at this. A Pokeball. Oh my god. A potion.
See, that's why we should just open them and then talk about Smash.
And a Scrafty. Yeah, I think you're right about the 4 from the back. No, it's not 4. No, you're right. It is 4. Yeah, we can. I'm planning to talk about Smash as we do it. It's just right now I'm just kind of opening it in front of them so they can at least see what we get.
They're going to be here a lot of unwrapping.
Yeah. Don't worry, guys. I'm just going to do the 4 from the back and open outside of the front of it.
Marnie.
Because,
Hello, Faint.
What's up? Look at my steel energy.
Did you get anything good?
Well, we'll find out. T-Meal. Babu. Moon. Don't worry, guys. I wouldn't stage this either, because I would have to buy the expensive cards. So if there's anything good.
No, we can start the podcast here.
Yeah.
Well, let me see if I think I sent you a little mini list. State of Smash, for Arcadian, me specifically winning, and also some people approve, but not everybody improves. I think there's a big reason for that. I think the main reason why people don't improve is because they don't be practicing, honestly. I see people that really want it, and I can't really get examples without like naming people, and I think that'd be a little mean. But also, I think some people want it a little too much.
No, I agree on that. I think also, I don't know, some people want to get better, but they have this idea that I'm going to get better in my very specific way by only doing things I like to do.
Also true, yeah.
And it's like, you know, you can get a bit better that way, but you're not going to... If you really, really want to be good, you got to do a lot of stuff you're uncomfortable with.
Yeah.
Because, like... Oh, we got Cursal V.
That's cute.
But, like, for example, I'll tell people, it's like, oh, you need to do, like, turnaround shield more. And there are some people that's like, okay, and other people are like, well, I don't feel comfortable doing that. And it's like, or, sorry, not turnaround shield, turn around out of shield and grab, instead of just mashing, like, back air or something. And it's just like, you're not going to be able to threaten people if you're not doing new options. If you're doing the same thing, like...
Yeah, actually, that's something I noticed when I was, competing in Ozone. Everybody had the same options, like from 2 years ago. I think I stopped playing in summer of 2024, like officially, because my last Ozone was of summer of 2024. And like everybody still has the same habits. I think some people have gotten better at doing what they like to do. But I don't think anyone's ever, like, how do I put it? They really do be going for the same stuff again. Like, Matode, if you're watching this, if I see you side B from a ledge, and I'm there in person, I'm gonna remind you to stop doing that. Because I love you. But, you know, I see that, and a lot of people do stuff like that, where they, like, really throw out their option that, like, gets them a lot. Like, I think a big one off the top of my brain is usually out of shield options or disadvantage options. Like Renegade with pushing the B button or recovering high. I remember actually arguing with somebody that plays Sheik because they talk about the Ice Climbers matchup and they think it's unwinnable. I think it's winnable. I've actually beaten, what's his name, Big D on Wi-Fi.
Using my Wi-Fi wins.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna bring that up
No,
because specifically because like all Ice Climbers want is to side B and disadvantage and then get a combo off you, and you just gotta be ready for that.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't. A lot of people rely on stuff like that because it's really good. Like, there's a reason why if you watch like raw players, they're just really fishing for their nairs and gyros.
Well, it also doesn't help that, I don't know, a lot of people don't punish them for these things. And, like, I feel like when I come back every so often, I do, and they get surprised, like, thrown off. It's like, wait a second. Like, I disappear for a bit. And I say a bit. It's been, like, what, years now? Yeah. But, I disappear for a bit, and they're like, oh, I've gotten so much better. And they have. And then they do that same thing and get punished every time. And they act like I've, like, unlocked something. It's like, wow.
Yeah, I think people, like I said, people got better at, like, some other options, like doing it better, like better spacing, better execution, but their disadvantage, neutral, panic options are all the same, and it really doesn't go anywhere.
Yeah, again, I think it's also just the idea that if no one's punishing you for doing it, then, like, a lot of these people aren't going to stop doing it, which, you know, kind of fair enough. It's not fully fair enough, right? Because it's like, if you do want to get to, like, another level, you do have to just kind of force yourself to do stuff regardless.
Correct.
Or you have to have someone willing to, like, beat the hell out of you for it. Because, like, when I played Wi-Fi a lot back in the day, I tried to keep away from doing too many Wi-Fi things. I wasn't trying to do spot dodge, smash attack every 5 seconds and all that. And it helped me a lot whenever offline came back. Because, like, everyone else was doing all these Wi-Fi habits, and I'm over here, like, still have a couple, like, rolling stuff, but...
Yeah, actually, it's something I want to talk about, because now that we have Matchbox at $100 a week for, like, people who are good, I think it just made me realize that people are really arguing again about the whole, does Wi-Fi make you good at this game? And I think it can. Like, objectively, yes, it can. But...
unless you fight me, in which case, anyone's carried.
True, but also I think what ends up happening is people will play good Wi-Fi characters or have good Wi-Fi habits that really allow you to win a lot. Like Raleigh said about, like, spot dodge smash attacks or, like, spot dodge tilt attacks.
Oh my god.
It's better course of
It's the full art. What the fuck?
But, like, they don't really be learning. They just be pushing buttons, and because of Wi-Fi, it makes them a lot better. And you're not learning like that, right? And it's really hard to learn on Wi-Fi when you have, like, a little ranking system that tells you whether you're good or not, or you're valued. I also pulled a guard of RB.
Oh, nice.
And I personally will probably not use Wi-Fi to get good. Or use Matchbox, actually. Mostly because I don't like HBox, and also because, like... sorry, that's the boxes. And also because, like...
This is so flick. I mean, well, that wealth turned into this so far.
Yeah, but, I don't know, it's like... So, I see other people, like, play Sheik on Wi-Fi, and I feel like it's just hold in simulator, and you're getting free combos in the training room, but with, like, more delay. That's something I also realized. I'm gonna bring this up as a little small tangent, but this city cannot DI out for the love of their life. I think that's something I also want to bring out. I think people are really scared of DI out.
And not just DI out. A lot of people love to fucking mash.
That mashing a disadvantage to get like, it's kind of like the really old Giddy thing where like he'll hold in and try to up air to get like a really good chain off you. But it's like that, but way worse. Because at least when Giddy did it, he actually fucking killed you for it.
Also, like, he was throwing out at least a safe on shield move. You
It's
know,
true.
You shield that shit? Fuck. Or maybe it's not safe on shield. I don't know what frame date at the current moment. But, like, some of these people.
Oh my
be
god,
throwing
hold up. $300 card.
Holy shit!
$300 card.
It was all worth it.
$300
See, everybody?
card.
That's probably PSA 10.
We can look at it later. I think the left side is not good. Anyways, where are we at? Giddy up airing.
Holy shit!
Giddy up airing. A lot of people do that where they like. I can't like. I really don't want to be mean, but like everybody that I played did that a lot. Or alternatively, they do what I do, right? Because like Rally punishes me for this, but like if I just am in disadvantage, I'm like bouncing fish, and then she'll kill me for it. But every time people will like get me in disadvantage. And then they'll stop. They'll be like, okay, well, Sheik's in the air now, so I'm going to stop pressuring. And then I'll bouncing fish, and I'll be in a safe position.
Yeah, actually, that's like a big issue in general. A lot of people let me do it for free. Sorry, that was the cardboard falling. But a lot of people let him do it for free. And then he'll get farther in bracket, and there'll be that one person that punishes it at like 70, and he dies.
Me, when I have to fight Tiramisu.
The 2 would do it to you, too. You'd get Rob up there at like 50.
To be fair, I think that's because... Well, that's because it's Rob up there. That's so big.
It is big.
It's so big, and it kills you if you
It's
don't
so
DI
safe,
it.
too. It's like, man, I'm going to punish Rob for up airing. Wait a second.
Yeah, but I think that's the main thing people really struggle with. And I think that's what Wi-Fi really makes a lot worse, is that people's really bad habits get rewarded in Wi-Fi. And they think they're doing good, and then they go offline, and then they don't do good.
Yeah, well, it's also, Wi-Fi is kind of a different game. I was playing Wi-Fi somewhat recently, so I had some boredom. And, like, I haven't played Wi-Fi in forever, so I immediately feel the delay, and it's, like, unplayable for me. And don't get me wrong, right? You know, people who are good on Wi-Fi do learn things that, like, help them a lot. But, like, some of it was, like, I would punish you for spot dodging here if I had played Wi-Fi within the past millennium. Like,
yeah, well, if you get used to like the Wi-Fi buffer system and everything, I think also like there are people who do get good with Wi-Fi, right? Like I think everybody brings up Spargo, but I also want people to realize that like Spargo's a masher. Like every time people bring up like Leo versus Spargo and like Leo's fucking up Spargo, it's because Spargo's like trying to reversal him every single time. And that's because of the Wi-Fi. That's like what I mean. It's like the Giddy up there thing. And you learn that a lot from Wi-Fi specifically.
yeah, well, also, people bring up Spargo, but he did have people to play like offline with a bit, because I know a lot of the Mexico scene was hanging out and playing with each other a lot. So it's like, I don't know. I think it also matters who you're playing with when you're playing these things. Like some people will play like Elite Smash only.
Yup.
Or like they'll play with like their friends who are also like abusing these habits.
Yeah, because like you know when you play with your friends, eventually at some point, right, they're bound to like punish your bad habits eventually.
I wouldn't say that all the time. What? Why did I get 2 energies?
We're almost out of Champion's Path. But yeah, I think improving with Wi-Fi is just really dependent. You really have to go in with a mission on like what you want to improve on. And honestly, like if you have a car or like a way to get to places reliably, just play with your friends, man. I know some people like, I remember when I wanted to grind a lot and I was trying to like have offline meetups, but nobody wanted to play, man. Like people want to play, but they don't want to play.
Yeah.
Like they want to win, but they don't want to lose. So I don't get to play.
Yeah, it's pretty awkward in general sometimes. I know for a bit when I was first trying to learn Joker, I would try and like play with people, and the only ones, sorry, the only ones that hit me up about it were Sweet Tea and Toast. But like another one. But like it was hard to get anyone to want to play. And like don't get me wrong, everyone's got life, everyone's got things to do. But it was just kind of like, man, I just want to play some offline games.
Yeah. I think something people need to realize about improving too is derailed on B. You really gotta like realize what you're doing wrong, because I think a lot of people when they are losing, what you can. Okay. When people realize that like people don't realize that why they're like doing things incorrectly, they just like I don't know how to put it, but they just really like mentally beat themselves up, and it's like, well, I should just be playing better. Like I should just be doing this back air option better. But they don't really like go into the specifics of why.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Where it's like, well, this move. Another thing is like people have this idea of this move safe, and it is safe, but they don't understand that it's like, okay, well, what can you do to punish your opponent with the move once it's safe? And it's like these options, and they'll pick like the way slower option that isn't like as safe. And it's like my opponent mashed out a shield and hit me for it. And
yeah, actually, I'm gonna bring this up because this reminds me of stats people.
mm-hmm.
But like, there's always like this idea of like, not priority, frame data, where it's like, well, this is safe on shield, and it's like technically yes, but only if you're a little bitch. Like,
well, also not just if you're a little bitch, but it's like it depends on where you hit it, right?
yeah,
So, like, if you're doing this move, say you're doing Martinair landing, right? You gotta do it as you're like landing for it to actually be safe, because if you do like Nair 1, but you hit them like a little higher up, then it's not actually safe. But like, it's all about where you hit them with it, pretty much. And people don't understand that. They see the number on like, whatchamacallit, on like
Smash Ultimate Frame Data.
yeah, Smash Ultimate Frame Data, and they're like, well, it has this number on it, and it's like, well, that doesn't mean it's just safe because you did it. It all depends on like where you hit it, or like other things like that. What the hell?
Oh my god! Holy shit! 2 of them. Oh my god!
There's 2 of them now.
That's $400. I think we made our money back on this thing.
Well,
We still don't have Fat Gay Charizard. That's what we came for.
actually, yeah, that is what we came for.
Like, this is more rare, but
It's Pride Month too. Damn it. But anyway, as I was going on about, I think like everything depends on certain things. Like, and it's good to know like your options from that, pretty much. And yeah, but I think some people don't understand that. They just understand the like, oh, this is safe. Now what's my option? It's instead, oh, this is safe.
And then also like, even if something's safe, somebody can just like not do the guaranteed follow up and go for like a read. And then you can read that. I don't know. There's more layers to it, but I think people really just don't think more of the nuances of it.
Yeah.
Especially early Ultimate. Early Ultimate, people were like that. They were like trying to be Mewtwo King with like frame data and stuff.
Oh my god.
And like, I remember somebody was like, "You shouldn't be like trying to grab me there. I'm plus." And I'm like, "Dude, it's working. Like, if I'm hitting you here, even though you're positive, I really don't give a shit."
I got made fun of at SmashCon because I was showing someone something in training mode, but I didn't know the quick reset to it because I don't play too much of the training mode. And they were making fun of me for it. And no, this is before training mod pack 2. So it's quite literally like, well, like, the training mode dog shit anyway. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Like, I think I've done training mode like once. Like, even with the training mod pack, I think even before it, I think I did it with Rally, where I had her like hold certain directions for me to learn like raindrops. But then in like 15 minutes, I figured it out. I think a good way that I learn is typically with Rally, because she punishes all my bad habits. Something that happens very frequently is I'll go to a local and I'll do really good. Like, I can beat KH and Toast as many times as I want, but I'll go home and then get dicked on by Rally because she's punishing my bad habits that nobody else is punishing.
It's because I'm hype and full of aura. Damn. I mean, we got our money back, but anyway, yeah. I think it also just doesn't help that. I think something I was noticing too from whenever you come back. A lot of people have very like linear recoveries because a lot of people in City don't punish recoveries. Let's go
Yes.
get some like
Get some sleeves. And I'll probably swap out some top loaders for these too.
Yeah, but yeah, like I'll explain it in a second.
I think this one is a PSA 10 with the centering and the borders. Do we want to submit these?
We could if we want.
Who's especially good at punishing habits in San Antonio? Probably the Bayos?
Whiteout when he enters.
Yeah, Whiteout when he gives a shit. I'm a big Whiteout fan, actually.
Actually, SB too. If you ever play SB, here I'm gonna come back over here again. But SB too. If you ever get to play with SB, it's great. I love playing SB because SB will like beat the fuck out of me for doing the dumbest shit, and it's like, you know what?
And also play aggressively.
Exactly.
But I think Faint means more so like people who currently play.
People who currently play.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Mutex.
Yeah, like it's literally just Mutes.
Let me think who else. Race.
Oh yeah, Raze actually does do a good job on that actually. When he actually gives a shit, he's pretty good about that. Outside of Raze, but like that's just old gen, you know? Like I think what the new generation is just really good at is just min-maxing their combos or like their game plans. Because like I'm gonna be as nice as I can, but whenever I play people, I don't know how to put it without being like a little mean about it, but not that they're carried. I mean, some of them are, but it's more so like it's a very, very different game comparatively when you play with people who played like Smash 4 and Brawl. Because there's way more mix-ups. And a lot better punishes. Because, like, let's look at Toast, for example, right? Toast will fish for their footstool, out of shield, gun combo that kills you, right? And that goes pretty far, because a lot of people do not know how to space in the city. Even people who are considered good do not know how to space. Or throw out another move to stop it.
Well, it's also good because, like, everyone has an idea that, like, well, Joker doesn't have out of shield options. Especially if you play other Jokers.
That's also true, yeah.
And so it's like, well, I'm gonna try and like do stuff on shield and kind of punish you for playing Joker, and then it's like, oh, I did that to Toast, and Toast does know how to do that, and now I am going to die. Which is cool. I think that's really cool, like doing something that helps with your character's weaknesses. But I do think sometimes she goes for it a little too much.
Yes, I agree. But you know, that's like a main difference. Is like I don't see too many mix-ups. Like comparatively to like old gens, Toast does not have as many mix-ups or mix-ups, and also like the aggressive options are more so like if this hits, I'm gonna kill you, rather than just to win neutral.
I think also sometimes a big issue is people play in the style of like, I'm going to play my character to their fullest rather than play around your character and what they do. And it's like, in some instances, you can kind of get away with that, right? Like, if I'm fighting King DDD, that's the main thing I'm going to abuse.
Yeah.
But in some matchups, you really do have to you have to play around the other character. They're going to fucking kill you. And I guess, to be fair, it all depends on, like, how good your character is, how much you have to do that. But I think sometimes the issue is, like, someone knows the matchup versus this character, like, versus your character, and they're playing around yours. And So you're trying to like play your character at them while they know the counterplay, and it's like, so are you going to play around their character now, or are you going to keep doing what you're doing, and you will inevitably lose? And in some cases, this works out, right? Like we see at like major top eights, you know, someone will fight like. And I'm not saying like anything mean to like some of the Steves and Kazuya's, but like you'll see someone play around the Steve and the Kazuya player for like almost the whole set, and then they got hit by like electric stock 3. And
Yeah,
it's like, well,
and then they die.
yeah.
Because that's true. I think that's something that's very different. Is people just be playing their characters nowadays, where it's like back to that whole like throwing out an aerial or an option and disadvantage in hopes to kill somebody. That's pretty much what it is. Like if you watch most Kazuya gameplay, it's like spot dodge electric, and if you get hit by that, you die. Or it's like Steve, like sword, die.
Or like a lot of Kazuyas love to do the jump from ledge side.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And it's not just DLC 2. I think it's like, it's just how people play nowadays that are a newer generation that do that a lot.
I think, while yes, it has always just been a thing, right? Like, we're not gonna act like I haven't died to Johnny being like, yeah, I'm gonna do this ledge option now. Oh, you got hit by weak at air, nair, up smash.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, like, sometimes that is a good thing to go for, because, like, you really, really have to respect it.
But I do think it is a lot more common nowadays, and it is a lot more like, you know, I mentioned Johnny, right? Johnny played very well against you. He would, like, figure out all your bad habits, and it's like, well, he's not always doing this. But, like, some people, it feels like that's the main thing they do. And for other people, it's like, you know, they know to do this, but they don't know this character punishes you really hard for doing this. Like, I feel like when I play Pit versus a lot of people, they'll do something stupid on shield, and I'll nair them, and they don't know how to DI nair, and then they die, and they're like, wow, Pit's broken. And it's like... Yeah,
it's also because a lot of people just DI in a lot.
Yeah.
They don't DI out in a way.
Well, it's like up in a way. They DI versus Pit, but, like, they'll do... Or if they do the correct DI, they'll do something afterwards I call out.
Yeah.
And, like, they'll do a double jump, and then I punish them for double jumping, and then they get juggled for, like, 6 minutes, and it's like, they don't understand that it's because I called them out. They think what Pit just did there is, like, something Pit always does.
Yeah. But it's back to the whole Johnny thing where, like, it's not that you shouldn't be doing stuff like that where, like, you do ignorant things that get you kills, because, like, there's a reason why Kazuya and Steve players do that, because it works and it's really, really good.
Yeah.
But there's going to be a point when someone figures that out, and you just got to really how to figure out the counterplay for that.
Yeah.
Granted, someone like Johnny is, like, he might lose a stock, but he's just not going to give a shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, as Fink said, Toast, she does, like, the footstool guns, but doesn't work for ice climbers.
Yeah.
And I think also some people create habits out of this stuff. Because, like, I feel like a lot of people that do the footstool out of shield stuff, they have, like, a jump out of shield habit in general, because they're trying to go for the footstool.
I agree.
And it's like, if you put yourself in the air versus, like, insert dumb character with an anti-air, say you jump out of shield versus Sheik. Sheik is gonna, like, just beat the hell out of you. Like, you do not want to fight that fair. You don't want to fight that up air drag down.
Unless you have something against it, you know? But at the same time, I think like Raleigh mentioned about how a lot of people actually just only really play their own character, and they don't, like, because when I play the game, like when I played at Ozone last time, all I really had to do is figure out how to beat everybody else, rather than, like, min-max my Sheik combos. Like, I'm not saying my Sheik combos are bad, but, like, I want you to look at any other Sheik players in Texas, or, like, in general, and they are, like, running away the whole game, throwing needles constantly, and waiting for their true confirms, and that's it. That's all they do. And, like, they're fully capable of playing neutral in a more aggressive way, but it's just technically more optimal, quote-unquote, to do that.
Well, to be fair, also, though, I think your punish game's better in the sense that, like, even though your true combos aren't as on point, you do a lot of DI reads, and you also, like, make people feel like they can't get out, because there's, like, one specific option that gets you out of this.
Yeah, I think also, you just figure out what you want to do with, like, your playstyle, too. Like, I remember I hung out with all the girlies, and all the girlies played aggressively, And if I didn't play aggressively with them, they would like make fun of me for it. They'd be like, "Why are you holding shield? Why are you holding shield? Why are you holding shield?" And then beat my ass for that. So at some point, it just kind of got into my brain that I should play more aggressively. And then during COVID, it was hard to play aggressively in Wi-Fi. I kind of learned it with Rally for the most part, but I remember a very specific thing with, you remember Ramala, right? The VTuber that played Exerd. Yeah. She talked about a sole bad guy player. I forgot what his tag. I really should remember.
I don't know what you're talking about.
And what he would do, he would be like down like game 1. And most people, if they're losing game 1, they're gonna like play really patient. They're gonna try to save their resources for game 2. But this guy will like use all of his resources and like play super aggressively. Like, you're the person in danger with full HP. Well, he's 1 HP and he could die at any moment. But he like plays, I don't know, I love that idea where like you are so backed up into a corner that the best option to do is just play like you're a fucking crackhead.
Well, it also makes the other person uncomfortable because they're not used to someone doing this. It's
yeah.
like, oh, you know, most people would just lay down, let me kill them. And now it's like, wow, this guy's trying to like murder me.
Yeah.
I think that's another thing actually that I'm going to go into with improvement. I think a lot of people... So there's 2 ways people play friendlies. They either play like it's bracket and their life's on the line, and they're going to do the same play style. They're going to camp you for 6 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Or there's the people that are like, well, it's just friendlies. I do not care. And like, you can play friendlies that way, right? I'm not saying you can't. But like, if you are trying to improve, you can't necessarily do that. I think there's a good in between where it's like you try out new things, right? Like maybe you usually can't, but you'll try playing more aggressively so that you can figure out, you know, a little bit how to do that. Because, you know, you're not always going to be able to camp versus everyone. There are some people that will like beat the hell out of you for that, or like in vice versa. If you always play aggressively, I've had people that will just keep punishing me for like rushing in, and it's like I have to stop. If I do not stop, I will lose. And testing this stuff out in friendlies, it will help you learn how to do it. And like that's kind of another thing. A lot of like the top players, if you see Light right now,
yeah, that face the mic.
Yeah, if you watch Light right now, Light will like camp some people, and it's like because that's what he has to do in that matchup, or he doesn't have to in some cases, but it's the better option to do, right? And it's like the best thing you can do is change up your play style, because no one's going to be prepared for the person that was 1 second like camping to like go aggressive, or vice versa, the other way around. But a lot of people don't want to like test out these things in friendlies because either one, they want to win, and they really want to win to the point that they're going to keep doing the same thing they always do, or the other issue where they don't care, and they're just going to be like, well, you know, I didn't really care, I'm just going to throw out random funny options. I'm going to side B as Luigi because I could get a misfire.
Yeah, I think that's also a big thing when people play friendlies. That's actually something like, so when I play friendlies with other people, and like, because I used to do a lot of offline meetups, and I mean this nicely, but I dick on people. Like when Rally and I would like go together and play with people, it's like, which is the lesser of 2 evil? And Rally is the more evil one because she will absolutely keep dicking on you. But like, I also do that to people where like, I remember I was like 20-0 on somebody in friendlies, and then I was like talking casually with somebody like about football as I'm like dicking on this person, but like it's really hard to deal with that because people just have really bad mentality with losing, even in friendlies, and then also just having a difficult time practicing with that because like their ego also really prevents them from like sitting down and be like, what am I fucking up on? Like, what am I doing wrong? What do I need to change? For them, it's like either I need to make really bad options to be like, haha, I lost because I fucked up, or like super omega camp. I really don't like when people super omega camp during friendlies, because like it doesn't change anything. And I think also another thing is that like the way people play in friendlies is very different than I play in bracket. Like for me specifically, like I wish my set with toaster streams, because I played way more patiently and I've like spaced the majority of my moves and did not overextend. And I did play aggressively at moments I needed to, but like comparatively to when I play like that in friendlies, I don't really be doing that. Mm-hmm. But I do sometimes do it in friendlies, as a way, like, I do need to actually practice this. I do need to, like, when Rally's dicking me, I need to, like, okay, I need to play a little bit more patiently and charge my needles a bit more. And, like, I literally have a checklist of how hard is Rally beating me, and I have a checklist of, like, okay, how often am I jumping? I'm jumping a lot. I'm probably dying to that. How is my recovery? Am I bouncing fishing every time that I'm getting hit and I have an option to bouncing fish? Am I nair dodging? Am I charging enough needles? Am I going off stage? Am I actively, like, pressuring her shield? What interactions am I losing? Like, it's a whole checklist. But a lot of times I feel like when people play friendlies, there's no checklist. I feel like it's like, well, I'm losing because I'm bad, or like I'm losing because I just don't have a good day.
Oh my god, that reminds me. There was one time I was playing someone, right? And the issue was they were very immobile. They would do like an out of shield option, and they would hold shield and like walk around shield. But like they didn't really know how to like move around in neutral, and so I would kind of just space around them in like a burst range, kind of annoy the hell out of them. And the whole time they're complaining, it's like, oh, I'm so bad, blah blah blah, and it's just like, if you just understood what was going on or like asked, I would like tell you, but like I don't feel comfortable really talking too much if someone's like complaining.
Yeah, they're like having a mental breakdown about losing.
Yeah, and I don't want to just give unsolicited advice either. So it feels really awkward, right? So then I end up like not playing with them, and unfortunately, a lot of people get frustrated playing friendlies with me. Not everyone. There's a lot of people that also will just have fun with me and keep playing, but sometimes it's hard because like I want to play more, but it's also like people just get annoyed. It's just like, well.
I think that's also true. It's really hard to play with people, and like, well, I don't really feel bad. Like, I really don't. I really don't feel bad for people who cannot, because like, look, like I think I talked to Bonner about this, right? So I was playing Renegade after I've not played like in for years. And my hands were fucking hurting, and my pit was dicking his Mii Sword Fighter. And I'm just like, I cannot believe that people are losing to Renegade's Mii Sword Fighter. And then Bonner is explaining to me that, like, some people just, like, don't have that drive or, like, that hate in their heart to, like, I cannot lose to Renegade's Mii Sword Fighter. Like, that's literally, in my mind, it's like, I can't lose that. Like, it doesn't matter how long I haven't played or practiced, like, I can't lose that. And it's not like I can't lose it like I need to camp. It's like, no, I need to win. Like, I need to, like, prove that I'm not going to lose that. But a lot of people just don't have that mental for that. And so they either just, like, get really sad, or it's like, well, you're playing a gimmicky-ass character, whether that's true or not, which it is. Like, I don't know, just some people just don't have that mental to withstand losing or withstand dealing with annoying shit. Because, like, if you're going to play this game competitively, you really just have to deal with annoying shit.
Yeah, I mean, a big thing, right, is, like, this game at times can be very Mickey Mouse, right? Like, let's face it, you can die at 0. Like, it's just, sometimes it happens. Like, sometimes you just SD and you fuck up. And, like, you just have to be able to brush that off. If you don't got the mental to do that, it's kind of hard to be like, well, should you really, like, try and, like, compete higher if, like, you're gonna, like, have a mental breakdown if you SD? Because I've seen people where I'll play them in set, and they'll do good game 1, and then game 2 they SD and they just give up, or like game 1 they'll SD and they give up, and then game 2 they're like they super give up.
Yeah,
it's just like
that carries on pretty hard. That's something I'm really proud of myself about. Is like, I really like. Sometimes I kind of wish I like saved a lot of my sets like a nerd to like show something, but like. There was a lot of times, especially when I came back after my hands started feeling better and I did like some physical therapy and like got like ointment for my hands so that I can go to sleep. But there was times I'd be like down, like I'm like 1 stock to 3
versus Joker.
That's specific what I was thinking about against the Joker from Austin, and he has Arsene and he's like mashing back air and I'm like, okay, the only way I fucking die here is to back air. So I just have to not jump. If I don't jump, I can win this. Mm-hmm. And then I won the whole thing. And I think I also beat Gideon and Sewer Person at the same tournament. But like, the mental for that is just not matched by a lot of people. People really struggle. Like when they're down or their options are being exploited or it's a bad matchup, they're just like, well, time to pack up and go home. Guess I can't win. And I don't feel bad for that, and I don't know, like, I don't know why people compete like that. I mean, I do know why, but
it's also like I don't feel as bad if you're gonna like have like that mental breakdown over that SD. It's kind of just like, I'm sorry it happened, but like, you know,
Um,
but like the other thing too is like, again, like it's not just SDs, right? Like we mentioned the Kazuya getting electric, right? That happens, and like you just have to deal with that. And it's like if you let it get to you and you're like, well, I give up, I got 0 to deaths, like it's over. Like I would have people where I would edguard them once. I edguard them that one time. The set's over. It's not even like, oh, I'm so much better than you. It's like, no, you gave up because you died at 30.
yeah, a lot of people give up pretty quickly. And some people have like a little bit better of a mentality, but most of the time it usually is like, how do I put it? It really depends on the day. Like, I don't know. I'm a little acoustic about the way I compete. So I have a very specific thing. Like, if I'm going to compete, I have to eat like 1.5 hours at least before entering. If I don't, then you know what? And I did that with Ozone last time I entered, and I did good, even without eating, because I was offered food. Because I was like, man, I'm really hungry, and I think Matode offered me some canes, and I'm like, I can't eat canes because that's gonna fuck me up. Like, I won't eat anything greasy. I won't eat anything fried. I literally am gonna have a fucking sandwich with avocados. I want it toasted, and I want water. And like, I won't drink sugar. I won't drink energy drinks during the time that I plan to play. Like, I literally need to fucking like my everything needs to be good, right? I need to have a good fucking controller. Like, where's my controller at, actually? So like, if I don't have a Lampgrass custom controller in my hands while competing, I'm not gonna fucking play. If I don't have these sticks, you see these sticks? They have like firmness. Oh, hi Toast, thank you so much for following. Uh, if I don't have these sticks, I'm not gonna play, right? If I don't have my water, I'm gonna go buy water.
Actually, mentioning that, I'm kind of not the same at all. I will play on whatever. Speaking of that controller over there, it's got my controller's board in it. I have been playing with a pro controller.
Correct.
There was a time I entered with a Procon, and someone was like, "Do you play on Procon? Have you always played on Procon?" And I'm like, "No, I play like Elite Smash with it sometimes."
Yeah, but you know, back to the whole thing where it's like, a lot of people will complain and blame everything on like, I ate canes and now I'm shitting myself, and it's like, tough luck, dude. You shouldn't have done that. Like, you've been entering enough not to be doing that at this point. Or it's like, I had an energy drink and now I'm shaking and I can't handle myself, and it's like, dude, you just can't do that. Like you can by all means go for it, but you can't complain about that. Like, I am very peculiar about the way that I prepare myself for bracket. I have a list of people that I am willing to practice with to warm up. Bonray is like top 3. Like, if I can't practice with Rally beforehand, I will seek out Bonray. And then I'll seek out Tiramisu. And then I'll seek out Austin. And if I can't practice with any of these people, then I'm not going to practice with anybody until bracket starts, right? And I think that does get a little draining for, like, some people are going to look at that and then be like, that's really weird. Like, I think you're thinking too much about it. But at the same time, these are the same people that be crashing out when they lose, or like they be crashing out because they misinputted, or the controller's not working, or they're playing on a fucking Mayflash. Like, I don't know, man. Like, you gotta, like, if you're gonna have a bad mentality about things, you should at the very least take control of a lot of things that you can take control of.
Yeah, if you know like certain things trigger you or cause you issues, right? Like if you know having an energy drink during bracket makes you shake, don't have the energy drink during bracket. Like, even if you really feel like you need it, because I have the same kind of issue where like when I have an energy drink, or I have this idea whenever I'm very stressed that I'll have an energy drink because it's gonna make me calm down. It doesn't, but like I do it all the time. Kellen knows how bad it can
Yeah.
be. I will like drink 2 a day sometimes. I don't do that currently. Don't worry, everybody. Mostly during school. But like, people need to know what does trigger them, and in some cases you can't control it, right? If your trigger is SDing at 0 and you SD'd at 0, like, shit happens, right? But if you know, like, I can't have this energy drink or I shouldn't have canes, like, just don't do that.
Yeah, I think people really struggle with discipline on that, and I think that also like matches up to like Smash Bros. Because like, I wouldn't say I'm undisciplined. Like, I will overextend because I want more, but I know when to be disciplined in Smash. Like, if you look at my sets with, like, Toast, Renegade, KH, like, I will wait a little bit because I have to, or else I'll die. But I feel like when you are disciplined in a lot of different things in your life, like, I don't wake up on time, so I don't really have that discipline. But, like, I do have the discipline to not drink soda before I play bracket. Or I also have the discipline to not eat shitty food before I play bracket.
Yeah.
I also have the discipline to make sure that I have everything I need. Like, I will bring my own adapter because I don't want to play on anybody else's adapter. I want to play on my own controller because I don't want to play on any other shitty controller. And I think when you are disciplined about those things, even if it comes off as, like, a quirk or, like, weird, it really does extend over to your gameplay in Smash.
Mm-hmm. And also, if you don't want to come off as weird over that stuff, I have seen people. I was at SmashCon, and I can't remember the Snake player's name. It was a really good Snake player, but dude had like an entire like full thing for like his own setup for sound that also allowed you to plug in for sound. And this dude would set up this whole thing for friendlies and bracket, and it's like. Mm-hmm. You know, I think that's cool. Like, I have no issue with it, especially because I can listen to audio too. But, like, you know, like, these guys are doing this, and they're not worried about feeling weird. Why should you feel weird about being like, I want to use my adapter?
Yeah. Or having your own audio setup. Or, like, because, again, like, you should take control of things that you can control. And, like, you should just feel comfortable. Like, I don't know. I will actively choose not to enter if, like... Also, something else I want to bring up real quick. So, like, something else that people really have a struggle with is, like, sometimes I've seen tweets where it's like, I do really poorly on Mondays. Or, like, I really do really poorly on Wednesdays. Like, specifically just the days. And that's the only reason. And it's like, you know, maybe that is the case. But I also, like, fundamentally refuse to allow something like that to have control in my life. But I am also willing to accept that, like, you know what? I just don't think I'll do good today. So I just won't enter. Or, like... I just don't think I have the energy to do things. And, you know, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. But you also can't let other things control you as well. I think that's something that'll help a lot of people is, like... I can't really think of other examples other than, like Mondays. I just always lose on Mondays, or I always go 0-2 on Mondays. But even if you have things like that controlling you, you really just gotta, like... take responsibility or accountability for why that's the case rather than just letting it happen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, again, I think it's just a big issue on like that kind of stuff where it's like I like making this joke too, but like back in the day, I don't know how it is currently, right? There were people that acted like they had to enter. They acted like it was just, oh, they were there, they have to enter the bracket. Meanwhile, like, half our PR would show up, like, to 2 tourneys a season. And it's like, you feel more committed than, like, half these other people's to enter. But, it, you know, not in a good way. Like,
the color you pick slightly affects your gameplay. I think some people are like that, and that's also okay. I personally don't choose colors. I always play the default. I think unless it's Ike. But, yeah, things like that also people have control over. And also what Riley was talking about, like... people just entering a lot. I think you also... Something that I've learned getting older is that I have to manage my time better. I work 2 jobs, by the way. Yeah, I work 2 jobs, and sometimes I'm up at 7 and I'm home by like 8:30. And that's okay. I think Ozone was like the first time that I got off before like 6. And I entered because sewer person was like, you have to beat KH. Please beat KH. Like, please, 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 please. I love sewer person. But, so you know, there are people out there who will, like, the only way that I can improve or grind or, like, get better is by playing every day. I have to, like, super absorb this game. I have to be super committed. I mean, you do have to be committed, but, like, some people really do it in an unhealthy way. And I get that. Like, I've been there. Like, I've been 19, I've been 21, where I'm like, I have so much free time, and I just have to keep playing and get better. And that's a good way to get burnt out. Yeah. And that's a good way just to, like, something I used to do where I would, like, super, super grind during off-season. And then during, like, the regular season, I was already burnt out I wasn't getting the results I was hoping to see, and I was just super demotivated, and that happens a lot with people. And I think when you limit yourself to like 2 brackets a week, not only do you give yourself time to rest, but you also just like you really just need to give time to prepare for yourself too. Like talking about the whole like needing to like manage your time better. Like the only time I can play Smash is with Rally for the most part, and I don't always do that. But I can like improve my hands, or I can schedule time to like do all these things. But when I practice, I do need to like make sure to know what I'm practicing and why I'm doing it, because I only have a limited amount of time to do it. I don't have as much free time as I used to, so I can't always like play the game all I want and then eventually improve. Like I really just gotta go in with a mission to practice.
Yeah, and like another thing too, so you mentioned the 2 days thing. When this game first came out, I was going to like all the tourneys, like all of them, and it super burnt me out. And ever since like that first like season, I had like, or maybe it was second season, I forget, one of the 2 seasons, I had like a rule where I would go to like 2 tourneys, 3 at max a week, and I would not like go to more. Or if I did go to anything else, I just didn't enter. And it's just because like it's tiring, and sometimes you don't understand how tiring it is while doing it. But once I made that rule for myself, it was like, wow, this is like relaxing actually. Like not having to go to a tourney and then act like, even when I'm playing friendlies, I know bracket's gonna start, and now I have to like fight for my life. And also like once you're PR, like everyone
Yeah, that's the thing I did not like about being PR. Like everybody will like treat you like beating you is like beating Jesus Christ, and now you are like the best player in the world. Also, yes, it was the day that I beat you, Toast. That's when tour person was like begging me.
Yeah, it was actually so. And the funniest part, that ended up putting KH in the same loser's path as Sewer.
Yeah, actually, I think that was the funniest part, is that after I beat KH, I put him against Sewer.
In the same side.
I think also, back to the point that Riley was talking, like, I don't think people realize how much playing this game, like, in a bracket tires you out. I get, like, I'm 26, right? And I don't want to say I'm old, right? Because objectively I'm not. But I am older, and I have more work, and I don't have as much free time. And brackets do tire me out, but I don't think people realize how much playing a lot of like competitive Smash Bros and fighting for your life is actually pretty tiring.
Yeah.
Like you will absolutely tire yourself out if you're going to like 3 to 4 tournaments a week, or if you
so like here's an example actually. So when I did participate and like went to tourneys, Kellen can vouch for this. I would literally after bracket, I would like have the VOD up for the tourney if there was a VOD, and I would be looking at sets. Ones I won and ones I lost, and I would be like, okay, so did I do good and bad? And like sometimes I did it just to hype myself up. It's like, yo, I like kind of fucked people up.
Yeah.
Let's look at the cool shit. And other times it's like, I'm so annoyed I lost to like X, Y, and Z. Like, why did I lose to this person? And it's like, okay, I jumped here, here, and here, and they called it out every time. I need to not do that.
Yeah, I think even then, even sets that you won, I remember like. And it is true, when Rally used to compete a lot, like, I remember coming home and having dinner ready, and then she already has, like, the VOD up and watching all of her sets, and I'm like, man, we're fucking eating here. And then she's looking at sets she won, and it's like, well, I did poorly in, like, these situations, I need to stop doing that. And it's like, well, you won. But it's also important to realize, like, you don't need to, like, super win, like, JV5 or JV4, everybody. But, like, it's also important to recognize when you were fucking up to and why you were.
Well, sometimes also it's something that like, so say I lost to someone, right? I'll notice it when I lost to them, but I'll also watch the other sets and it's like, is this a habit, or is this something that I just did versus them, and is it something I need to watch out versus them, or in general? And sometimes it's like, oh, I actually see this habit here, this person just didn't punish it. Or other times it's like, no, I just did it versus them, why did I do it versus them? And like, there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. I'm not going to go into my whole thought process, my whole write down, all of this, but like, there is a lot of stuff that goes on when you watch VODs and VOD reviewing, and I think some people, they hear like you're supposed to review your VODs and they're like, oh, I'll just watch my VODs and that'll help me improve. But like, what really helps is making a checklist and understanding here's what I'm looking for. Once you find out what you're looking for and like all these steps that you go through when VOD reviewing, it helps a lot more than just putting up a VOD and like
Yeah. For those of you that weren't here when I talked about it, but like I talked about how like I can do good at Ozone and beat anybody that I want, but then I'll lose to Rally. That's because Rally punishes a lot of things, and if I'm depending on how badly I'm losing to Rally, I will like have a checklist of things of like, all right, why am I losing? Am I jumping too much out of shield? Am I nair dodging too much? Am I not charging Neils enough? Am I bouncing fishing every time I get hit? Am I having poor recoveries? How low am I going? How high am I going when I'm recovering? And I think having that checklist to check rather than like just watching your VODs is more important because like that's kind of how you recognize things. I think when people look at VODs, I think they're looking at like, well, I died because I neutral get up, or like I died because I DI'd incorrectly, rather than like what led to all that.
yeah, like actually I've mentioned it before, but something I hate is when people are like, well, I should have forced or three stocked this person. If I'm not three stocking everyone, that means I'm making mistakes. And it's like, this is rock paper scissors, but advanced. Don't get me wrong. Obviously, it's more than just rock paper scissors, right? But like, oh, you got hit by a dash attack because you called out this. Like, that just happens. Like you made a decent call. You just got hit by a dash attack. Like, come on. You need to understand the things that actually stand out. Like, was I not punishing X and did they keep doing it? Blah blah blah. Because like again, I hate that mindset of like I should be like three stocking everyone. Otherwise, like there's obviously improvements that can be made. Because it's not realistic.
And then also like something I remember, I had a friend that she wanted to play, and I think one of the best advice I gave her with Wolf was to trade. And then she started doing better. I think this was during the Team League stuff, and I'm like, you know, if you just like Wolf Nair and then traded with somebody, you'd like get way farther because then they'd be at like kill percent. And then you can start threatening more. And I think people don't realize things like trading.
This actually reminds me of something recently too, where so I've mentioned some people say like I'm not comfortable doing that, and then it's like okay, well then keep losing. Like if you're not gonna do stuff that makes you uncomfortable, but is what like works in the matchup, then just lose, I guess. But I was talking to someone that played Shotos recently, and they were complaining about Pit, and they mentioned at one point like they said this, not even me. They're like, you know, the matchup might be better if I traded more. And I'm like, oh. And they're like, but I hate playing like that. And I'm like,
but you gotta, you know?
You literally have what it is. You just said, I hate doing it, so I'm not gonna do it. Like, what do I even say? Like,
I think that's something people don't realize. It's like, even, like, I don't know how top players feel, but I'm pretty sure they also feel uncomfortable doing things. Because, like, when I play, like, when I go down my checklist, one of my checklists is, like, am I edge guarding? Like, how am I edge guarding? And a lot of times when I'm really nervous, I'm like side being, hoping I can cheese them, and it's like no, I'm good at edge guarding. I'm good at ledge trapping. I have to put myself in scary spots because like putting yourself at like off stage where you can get reversaled is really scary. But like I'm good at it. My character's good at it. I should be doing it rather than trying to like just hoping something just works out if I throw this grenade out, or even at ledge. Like I will force myself to go closer to ledge if I'm scared, because I know I can win in those interactions despite me being scared about it. Like you have to be uncomfortable with these things to like really get the results you want, or else you can't do it. Because like I see a lot of people who give up ledge, like they'll be like at ledge like trying to fight somebody, and then it's like okay, all you have to do is ledge trap, be like maybe around roll distance, but then they'll like go farther than roll distance and just wait for them to get up, and it's like, okay, well, you just lost like 80% damage there. You can get so much just ledge trapping all day.
yeah, it's like, you know, I think fighting like Kazi is annoying, right? But I'll see people complain about the matchup, and it's like, watch just how they play the matchup, and it's like, you just let Kazi on the stage for free. Like he kind of sucks when his back's to ledge. He's most annoying when he has the stage. Giving him like backstage doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I think that's also something true. I think a lot of people don't pressure enough. Not only Kazuya, but like in general, where like specifically Kazuya, when I see like our local Kazuya players, I see like air dodge to stage, and I'm like, okay, so you should die for this. like I think I saw Toast like back airing. I think was it Skeleton or was it somebody else from like Texas that played Kazuya?
It was Skeleton.
And it's just like Skeleton air dodge to like ledge or like air dodge to stage and then Toast back air and
High
that
recovery.
repeats
High recovery.
repeat and it's like, oh my god, dude, like why can't Kazuya's go to ledge and then just play like ledge trap game? Like I don't know.
I do remember that was specifically Skeleton too, but like that's the thing where it's like see even she remembers, but like you know, I think, and I'm using Kazi as an example because he's the easiest character of like, he just kills you sometimes, right? I think that's the easiest example character. But like, a lot of these people will complain about matchups versus a character that has a bad disadvantage, but not play like the advantage game.
Yeah.
They just reset neutral, and it's like if you're only resetting neutral, how are you going to take advantage of this character's weakness? Like as I said, it's a lot of people playing this game where it's like, I'm going to play my character and their strength. I'm not going to play against your character and their weakness. It's like, if you're not doing that, you're not playing a part of the game.
Yeah, and you're right. I mean, there are people who are scared of Kazuya reversal or like reversals in general. But like, whenever somebody is above you, you are almost always, you have like I think 3 times more options than they do when it comes to dealing with like them being above you. But a lot of people, like they are scared because like outside like maybe Steve, right? Because Steve Anvil card, like that's just really strong. Like I think outside of Steve,
I will Anvil because it is strong.
But like let's look at Sheik, right? Like if you can cover a bouncing fish, like position yourself to cover a bouncing fish, and if Sheik doesn't do it, well then what is she gonna do? Is she gonna down air? And then be in super end leg, like the only like 2 moves that she has end leg, or like, I don't know. I don't think people shark enough, and I think Ryan's pretty good at sharking actually.
Yeah, I agree on that, and I think part of it's because I mentioned a lot of the city loves to mash out of disadvantage, and it's because not enough people are sharking them for mashing. It's
true.
Like, oh, I got hit by the button, I'm done sharking them, and it's like, know how to position yourself. That's the other like big thing too. A lot of people need to understand positioning and where to position yourself as what your character you are, but also in the matchup. So like with Pitt has to position himself in certain ways in certain matchups, and it's like it's because with Pitt's up air, for example, it's kind of sideways. So you can punish certain characters that down air like Cloud, but you have to be kind of beside them, below them. You can't just be directly below them. And knowing where to position yourself is the difference between being able to juggle this character and not being able to juggle this character.
And I think people really confuse that. Like, if you look at Mario, right? Like, if Mario hits you, he's going to kill you off that, like, up air, right? But, like, whenever somebody else does something like an up air, but it doesn't lead to, like, a Mario kill, they kind of just reset neutral, where it's like, well, I'm going to reset, maybe go to ledge, not take center stage. People don't take center stage enough, honestly. And they gotta give up a lot of things. I think that's probably like one of the main things people should work on, honestly. Granted, it is kind of hard, and I mean hard in the sense of like when people. It's not that people don't think; it's that kind of, but it's very difficult to think all of that at once if you're not used to it. And then when people aren't used to things, they don't want to do it. That's something we talked about earlier, where like people are just not comfortable doing things, so they won't do it at all.
Yeah.
If they're not comfortable going off stage, they won't do it at all. That's something people don't do too. They don't go off stage. I think that's why I lose to Rally a lot, because like if I play a lot of tournaments and I don't play Rally enough, and then I'll come back and I'll play Rally, and I just get edge guarded, because like
he will do the same recovery. He starts doing a really lazy recovery where he does like a low bouncing fish, and I'm not kidding. This is like this low bouncing fish jump, a little bit of a pause because he does an up B immediately, and then up B, and it's like, well, if I just hit you when you jump, you die.
Yeah.
And then he'll stop doing it because once he's like, okay, well, I'm getting punished for doing this, but other people don't punish this.
Yeah.
Because they're scared of Sheik up B, and also they're not used to like kind of following bouncing fish. But like, some people can punish this with certain characters too. Like, it's not just Pit that can punish that. Like, there's other characters that can edgeguard and call out that jump.
Yeah, and like even though someone like Fox shouldn't be edgeguarding all the time, like he can. And like sometimes I see Rally kill people with Fox off stage a lot, and it's like it's possible. Like some people just have really bad recoveries.
They will. I don't know what it is, but people will use double jump, not realizing how valuable it is. Because there's a lot of characters, and I always talk about this. There's a lot of characters. Once you take away the double jump, the recovery is linear as hell, and people don't understand that sometimes, and they will like waste double jump because they're like, oh, I'll just recover because I can recover far, and it's like, yes, but now you have to go at this very specific angle every single time. Like, Kellen's really good at doing this against me, but when I waste all of Pit's jumps and I have to up B, I know the back air's coming.
Yeah.
I know the back air's coming, and it's like anyone else in this city will just let me up B once I'm out of jumps. Like they're like, okay, well I took all the jumps, you're off stage, I played Marth, I can back air you, and instead of doing the back air, they just let me come back. They're like, well, that recovery's too good.
Yeah, they just like, well, down tilt 2-frame, hope it works. I was actually helping Aki on a Saturday with something like that where I explained to him that like, because he's playing Joker, it's like, okay, so first off, he's jumping a lot, and I'm like, it's super easy for me to punish you if you're jumping and then choosing like down guns or nair, because then you don't have any mix-ups, because having jump and air dodge can allow you to like, okay, I can either nair dodge and call out somebody being like aggressive. Granted, somebody can call out your nair dodge, blah blah blah. But like just having the jump option helps. But I was explaining to them that if somebody jumps and you have Arsene, you need to fucking kill them. Like you need to either call out the nair dodge and like down air like up smash, or like you just need to go up there and hit them. Cause like what are they gonna do? They're gonna nair dodge? Okay, throw out your like no end lag back air, and then if you miss, just down air. Like there's really not much to worry about. And he got that actually. Not the nair, but like he saw me doing like a poor recovery where I jumped as Sheik, and then I waited to like up B, and then he went off stage and back aired me, and I'm like, damn, okay, I'm glad that worked. But it's hard to remember that all the time, especially when you're new to that kind of concept.
Yeah, which is why I think it's important to like really cement these things in friendlies, because like if you're not doing things that make you uncomfortable, you're not gonna do them in bracket. Like if you're not doing it in the place where you don't get punished for doing it and like nothing matters, then you're not gonna do it in bracket. And like I just wish more people would be willing to do that instead of, again, the two camps of like either friendlies is my life, I'm gonna play it exactly like bracket, node changes exactly like bracket, or it's just friendlies, I don't really care, guys, I'm just gonna side B as Luigi because it's funny. Again, if you want to play like friendlies like that, that's fine, everyone does that every so often. We all do. Like San Antonio loves randoms on Wi-Fi, like it loves randoms on Wi-Fi, but like do know that like if you do want to improve, you have to take some friendlies seriously. You can't just act like all friendlies, or I'm not too seriously, right? But like you do have to take them as a chance to learn and improve rather than just like goof off time. Because
like if you're not actively practicing like your poor disadvantage, or like, okay, you saw this person jump, you should kill them for that. Again, it's I don't know, it's not hard, but I think people don't want to put the work for it because putting in work is kind of boring. Like people just want to push buttons, be good at it, and they don't want to think about anything else, and that's fair.
I mean, again, I think a lot of people like Smash and they want to be good at Smash because it'll make them feel like good and special. And don't get me wrong, if you're good at Smash, that's cool and awesome. But like, they don't want to like put in the effort. They just want to have that good and special feeling. That's why it's very common for people to come and be like, "Oh, I'm the best in my friend group," and then lose and then leave immediately afterwards. Not that it always happens, but like
it's a pretty common theme.
Especially when the game first comes out. It is like we had like 150 person Ozone at one point.
Oh yeah, we had pools at Ozone when it first came. Like for like the first month, I was that person. I was like the best person in like my neighborhood. Like, I remember playing with my friends and beating people, and then they're like, you won't beat this guy in this neighborhood, he's really good, and I fucked him up. I didn't, it was like last hit, last stock. But I went to Ozone, and then I went O2, and I'm like, damn, I suck. Like, I literally went O2 for like years. But most people just kind of quit, and they leave. And I talked about this earlier, where like, I do have this different drive of like, I refuse to lose. Like, I can't lose to Renegades Muse Sword Fighter. I can't lose to these people. Like, I just can't. Like, I can't. And just me not wanting to, like, continue to go 0-2 and not do good just kind of separates me and a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, a big example, and he's talked about this in other podcasts. But like when we were first playing a lot, and like lived together and were playing a lot, I would beat the fuck out of him.
I would lose. Okay, so I would literally lose for 3 hours a day to Pit, and I would like, and it's not even like close games. It's like almost always 3 stock or 2 stock.
And dying in new ways every time.
Yeah, and every time that I would like make a slight bit of progress, like I'd like, okay, I know you're gonna like jump dare out of the situation. I'm gonna up smash, and I'm like, yes, okay, I gotta read. And then now she's changing everything, and now she's playing differently. I'm like, fuck, now I'm back to square one where I'm getting dicked on again. And that was it for like, that was during COVID for like 3 to 4 months, constantly. Like imagine never winning in your own fucking house, and you're playing 3 hours a day, and like there's nothing else you can do. Like, and then you can't go to brackets because of COVID. You can't play with other people. Like, you play on Wi-Fi, but it's different. And like a lot of people can't do that. I talked about that earlier, where like a lot of people just really don't want to play friendlies with us sometimes because like losing like 20 games in a row is just not very helpful for your ego, and it makes you really sad. Because like I will look like I'm not trying. Like I will just be on my phone while I'm playing, and it's like because I'm bored. And other people will be like, well, this person's not even trying and I'm fucking losing, blah, blah, blah. But again, I think if you really want to get good, you also just really, really, like, gotta have that desire for it. Like, you have to be okay with losing a lot. And you really just gotta, I don't know, you just really gotta accept that. But yeah, I did lose a lot to Rally during COVID. Like, 3 months of losing constantly. And I still lose. Like, I'll win sometimes, but, like, it's still the majority of Rally winning. And like, and that's okay, right? Like,
yeah, and I mean sometimes it changes too. There's been like months where like I'm getting my ass kicked constantly. I think I'm trying to think of a good time period for it. Unfortunately, we don't play near as much as we used to. But there were like time periods where like he would beat the fuck out of me for like a month, and then the next month I would beat the hell out of him, and it would just kind of swap around. There was a time period where like I would play Pit versus Sheik on FD, and it was an unwinnable matchup, and now I can win.
Yeah, there was a time where I actually was like really, really fucking trying at this game. Like, I think I even learned raindrops.
It was like a weird time period too, because it was like around the time where I could still enter a bracket and like outplace you by a good bit, but like you would beat the fuck out of me. Like, and it was so funny every time. It was just like, man, why don't I go in the bracket placing better, and like I'll beat him in bracket too, and then I'll go home and he's gonna kill me. I'm going to die.
Yeah. But we're gonna wrap up the video here.
Mm-hmm.
But I think all of that, I think if people really, I don't know, just remember all these things, have this, I think the main thing is having a checklist when you're VOD reviewing and playing in the game. I know it's hard to think a lot when you play the game for a lot of people, and I know that sounds weird. I remember I played with Raze one time before COVID, and then he turned around and looked at me dead in the eye, and he's like, so do you think when you play? And he wasn't even like being mean about it. He was like genuinely asking, like, do you think? Oh, Arcadian discussion? What's there to discuss about the Arcadian? Like, I think Javi won.
Matode had a pretty good run.
Matode did have a pretty good run through losers. I was actually surprised Matode beat Dark Chaos. I feel like, I don't know what Ness Peach is like, but I can imagine Ness beating up a floaty is very, very easy and very, very scary. But Javi was actually doing really good. I don't know if Javi would be PR, specifically because I think the PR players would actually beat him pretty hard. But I think Javi would probably be in the same area as, like, Tension, where it's, like, HM, like, not beating PR players, maybe occasionally, but... And I think also, like, people are going to figure it out how to deal with Falcon eventually. Because it's not that he exploits, like, Falcon things? Because like, what is Falcon gonna exploit? Like, I guess side B.
Actually, you say that. Falcon kind of abuses a lot of things. One of my favorite things was there was a time period where I'm trying to remember his name. There was like a Snake and Falcon player, and during like crew battles and stuff, they would take a lot of stocks, and it was because they would do literally hold smash attack at ledge, and people would get up into it or do something like that. And I think people just don't understand certain things about Falcon. Like they're not used to like a back air like his on shield.
That's
Or,
true.
like,
That's true.
They're not used to like I can just die if he needs me.
Yeah.
And or like they don't know how to play around platform where it's like you do not want to DI towards a platform versus Falcon. Please don't do that.
Yeah, actually.
And I think there's things to learn where it's like I see some Falcons will hold jab at ledge, for example, and it's like that's a dumb like okay just get up attack, but people hate get up attacking in this game. There's like a lot of weird things Falcon can abuse, and it's kind of just from the idea that he's a good character that not a lot of people play currently.
I think also it helps that Javi plays aggressively, and a lot of people don't know how to deal with that. I think that's what helps me a lot is like I will just kind of push buttons in people's faces because they'll let me, and then they'll kind of back away if I overextend and don't punish me for it. And it's like, okay, cool. Because like a lot of times I feel like people could have punished Javi way more.
Yeah, actually,
I don't like Pit into Falcon. I feel like
I'm chill with it. So here's the thing you have to understand with Pit versus Falcon though. You have to know how to do like the ledge drop like shenanigans onto like Falcon up B.
Well, yeah, but like it just on stage is really like annoying because like
it is. Don't get me wrong. I played. I'm trying to remember his name, but he was like used to be pro in our city, and he was like PR and like. I think,
you're talking about Shad.
Yeah, Shad, where it was like, you know, we both went even, and it's just like, I think it's a lot of just understanding. Pit can really combo Falcon. Falcon is kind of combo fodder for Pit.
He is combo fodder.
And Pit can edgeguard Falcon. The issue is neutral. Neutral is a fucking
yeah, it's about getting past like nair, up air, grab.
Yeah. I mean, scouting with dash attack still, Pit has like annoying arrow shit, but also the other like annoying thing too is Pit has a good dash attack that can call out Falcon on how he dashes, and a lot of Falcons don't know how to land.
Yeah.
I feel like they land in this idea of like I'm gonna throw out attack or I'm gonna do like double jump and then throw an attack.
It's very similar to Kazuya.
Yeah, and it's like I think it's weird to say because I'm explaining it really badly, honestly. It's like a matchup that you just have to play. Like, there's a lot of matchups. There's a lot of matchups where I feel like if I try to explain it, it doesn't make sense. Especially because, like, at the end of the day, I feel like explaining Pit to people is really hard because it's just like, so how do you fucking play Pit? And it's like I beat the fuck out of people and I call it good. But it's like there's a lot of things where it's like, as I play, I just kind of learn certain things and I get better at it.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I don't play as much as I used to. Oh, he's doing a lot. Well, if he's full hopping a lot though, that's really bad. I feel like putting yourself above people is like.
Especially as Falcon, because like you kind of want to do is like rising aerials rather than like, because at that point you could just up tilt or up air.
Yeah, I feel like also that gets you called out for jumping. Like even though the full hop itself, like if he has already full hopped, it's kind of annoying punishing him. But if he's like full hopping, one you can react to like okay, well he jumped, so where is he gonna be? But two, it's like one of those things where it's like if you know they jump in this position, then you can punish them for having jumped there. I don't know. Again, I wish I could just play it and show it instead of just saying,
yeah,
trust me, dog.
But I think Javi has a lot of room to grow, like Bunnery said. I think I am curious to see if Javi will actually enter more. I've seen him a couple times at Ozone, but it's hard to really gauge. I haven't seen any like decent matches where I'm like, okay, yeah, he definitely knows what the fuck he's doing.
Well, it's also hard when someone plays aggressively, because like, I think a lot of people. So you mentioned the playing aggressively thing. A lot of people can't figure out what is getting them like beat up by the character and what's getting them beat up by the player. They just get beat up. Like, I would joke about this when I would lose to Johnny at the beginning of the game. It felt like I had amnesia from the set. Like, quite literally, I could not think about what happened in the set. I just know I got destroyed.
Yeah, when you're losing a stock within like 10, 15 seconds, it's like, okay, so what did I do wrong? Like, you can't really see that unless you have a VOD.
So I had to like watch the VODs and then note things down, and then it became like better. So I do think it's cool that someone's playing aggressively, though. I always love watching aggressive play. I will always vouch that aggressive play is really cool in this game. I love playing aggressively myself. I do hope like he does well. It's hard because it's like I feel like Arcadians are always weird too, because we've had Arcadians where people have done super duper well, beat the hell out of people, and then they just kind of don't after that.
It's because of the TikToks and the YouTube Shorts. That's why they can't remember why they're losing. I think also because like a lot of people play slower, so like newer generations of people like don't understand why they're losing. It's kind of crazy because it's like, well, what do you think it is, Monterey? If it's not, because like literally, I think it is like the short attention span and like the inability to like, why like they don't understand they're losing. You do, yeah. You play with Ultra Mash a lot. I think playing with Ultra Mash has helped me with like Falcon a lot, because like, I know it's never gonna end soon, but I'm gonna talk about Ultra Mash real quick. But like, if you hold shield, Ultra Mash will like side B you twice and like be safe on shield for that. And like people just don't understand that. And it's really, 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 really frustrating. Cause like other Falcons that like super duper camp and run away are like, well, I have to play perfectly. I have to always space. And it's like, no, the fuck you don't. You can just push another button and kill me for it. Like, you don't need to do that.
Playing Ultra Mash is so funny because on one hand it's like me, yeah, I'm beating the hell out of Ultra Mash in neutral, gets hit once, dies.
So
what did I do wrong?
Let's see. I think they're really anxious and fixated on doing something right, so they want something that's easily solvable. Okay, yeah, that's actually true. I think that's been the case even for, I guess, my generation in a sense, because like I think that's always been, I don't want to name names, but I think you already know who I'm talking about. But there are people who are like, this game is rock, paper, scissors, and like, if I do option A, then it should always beat your option B. But they don't understand that I can like call out option A, or like I can show that I'm going to do option B, and then do a different option that beats option A. And like, they just don't get that. They always like, well, I specifically am doing this thing that should always beat you and should always work. But like this game, it just has so many layers that like it shouldn't be that case. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I think that's always been the case. I think maybe now with the younger generation, it's a lot more intense.
Well, I think also, so noting like a lot of people like struggle at remembering why they lost. I think some people just don't understand like their bad habits, and they're like, well, I was just getting hit, and it's like, well, you rolled every time you got hit, and it's like, well, I was just getting hit. Like, I should be able to roll there. And it's just like, I don't know how to tell you this, but like, that doesn't make sense.
People are also just really like, I don't know what the word is, but like, I guess stubborn about how the way things should be. Where it's like, well, I shouldn't have to do this option, so I don't want to. Mm-hmm. I think it's hard to kind of figure out why you're losing too, unless you play this game enough to like, and also talk to people about it. Because like, you know, I can talk to somebody and say like, hey, you're jumping a lot and I'm just punishing you for jumping. But they're like thinking way too much about it. They're like, okay, so what about me specifically jumping that is getting me killed? And it's like, it's the fact that you're jumping and losing options. And then you have to explain the options. And then I have to explain what being grounded means. And then I have to explain that there's like, when you're grounded, you have several more options than if you are in the air. But like, I don't know, to me that already makes sense within less than a second. But for them, that's like, I have to like point at a whiteboard and be like, okay, so you have 12 different options when you're grounded. You can do X, 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 and X. But when you jump, you can only do like 3 times less options. And then you have to do all that. And it's just kind of hard to explain that, you know?
I mean, to be fair, didn't I have to whiteboard you about that, actually?
Actually, when we were playing in the beginning, I actually refused to listen to you.
Yeah, I know, but I remember having the burst option talk, and you're like, my mind, actually.
Yeah, actually, that helped me so much.
But I think the other issue is, some of it is about playing the game more. And, like, sometimes the more you play, the more natural some of this stuff becomes. And that's why I hate having to tell people this sometimes, but it's like, sometimes I'll play someone and it's like, you need to play this game more and get more experience with the game. And for some people, that's not the case, right? Like, I've been playing this game for, like, years now. But, like, I don't know. I've had people where, like, they're like, oh, I started at the beginning of, like a couple months back, or, like, maybe, like, 5 months ago, right? And it's like, you know, how much do you play? And it's like, oh, I play when I go to tourneys, and that's about it. I don't like playing online. And I'm like, well, from what I've gathered, having played you, here's, like, certain habits, but you also just need to play the game more so that you can understand more things and you can, like, get better with game sense. Because there is a way to explain game sense, I'm sure. There's, like, YouTube channels and stuff, as you said. But, like, there's just a lot of things where, as you play more, you just get it.
Yeah, I think
saying that.
it's hard because, like, you know, like, Bunnery's right about that, where it's like they tend to learn Smash from social media, YouTube, internet guides. So it's like, if you look at Banana Boy, like, that's like one of the early ones. I love Banana Boy. I think he's cool. But basically, it's like, I should only be doing the things Banana Boy is telling me. Like, I think he talked about Shield, where it's like, you know, if Rob up tilts you once and you're on a plat and you're shielding, Rob can up tilt you again. So you should wait twice, or maybe even 3 times until you're able to freely move out of shield. And so I think a good example of that is like that Rob situation where it's like, well, I have to wait until Rob up tilts me twice. But what happens if Rob threatens to up tilt you?
Forever.
And then, yeah, not only forever, but it's like, you know what? Instead of up tilting twice, I'm just going to go up there and I'm going to grab you on that platform. And it's like, well, Banana Boy didn't teach me that I needed to, like, figure out, like, he didn't teach me about this specific scenario, so I don't know what to do. And I think it's something like that, right? That's how I'm understanding it.
I do think, though, we should wrap it up, because I feel like if we go on any more small little tangents, they're going to become big tangents.
Yeah, it is going to become big tangents, but,
because I think Smash is kind of like that, where it's just a lot of small stuff kind of becomes big stuff.
Yeah, it does. I think it eventually becomes small stuff. Like, I think it starts out big, like the whole neutral stuff, like explaining, like, being grounded and being in the air. Because once you explain it, then it's like, that's kind of like your ABCs and your numbers, and like, well, this makes sense. Like, it just is what it is.
Yeah.
And then you can compound that together into like actual, like, meaningful things.
No, for sure. As I said, like, a lot of it is kind of small in the grand scheme of things, but it's like the idea of, like, it's hard to explain.
Okay, well, we're going to wrap it up, unless somebody has last comments they want to ask questions about.
Yeah, if anyone's got any questions, feel free to ask.
Also, these Charizards are like $250 each.
And if they're PSA 10, they're worth, like, a fuck ton. But we did it. We didn't think this would work out this well. We were hoping for, honestly, Gate Fat.
We were looking for Pride Month actual representation here, and not shiny Pokemon.
But he looks really cool. You don't think he looks like
I don't think he looks like okay. I'm going to wrap it up. Y'all have a good night. Thank you so much for watching the AnimusKellen podcast.
Yep. Bye-bye.